I've seen this kind of work before. It belongs to the same savages that trained me, then destroyed my family. The precision, the carnage.
It is the summer of 2008. School is pretty much over. I'm just sitting there, 16-year-old me just sitting there watching YouTube, playing Lineage 2, playing World of Warcraft, and all of a sudden, a friend of mine comes over with a game that I've never heard of or seen of called Assassin's Creed. The title doesn't really captivate me too much. I was never someone that was really crazy on stealth games. Nonetheless, a new game was a new game back then. My reasoning for not usually enjoying stealth games was because I would always take the route of, well, just shooting your way out. My main on Lineage 2 was always a gladiator. World of Warcraft was Death Knight and a warrior. So that was not entirely my cup of tea. But unbeknownst to me, that game was fucking phenomenal, as I remember. And on the PCs, it came out around 2008. Basically, you were thrust into this interesting world, playing as Desmond, who was a bartender. You were basically abducted by this Templar order. They force you to relive your ancestral memories of Altair through a device called Animus. The game was set during the Third Crusade, follows Altair, this great assassin. You were tasked by your mentor to assassinate 9 key figures from both Crusader and Saracen sides of the conflict, and also these targets are believed to be Knights of the Templar. As you eliminate these targets, you come to a shocking conclusion that your mentor is part of the Templar Order. And as you kill him and get a hold of that piece of Eden, that artifact, you realize that you're kind of in over your head. It's far more complex, too powerful to just manipulate by regular people, basically. The series kind of ends, the first installment kind of ends as in modern day, the Desmond's and Altair's memories are starting to fuse and bleed into each other, and their skills start to fuse together. It's basically hinting into a deeper conspiracy with Templars and other relics that are connected to the Piece of Eden. That's basically like a TLDR. Fast forward to today, when the last decent Ubisoft game that I've played was Assassin's Creed Valhalla and For Honor. Anything else I feel like Ubisoft has put out for the last 5 or more years, probably more actually, has felt nothing more than like a slop after slop after slop. And actually you can tell by the company's stocks, because if you look at the state of the company, the stock prices are at an all-time low. I don't think that they ever been this low ever, which is crazy, considering like Ubisoft used to be the company for one of the best open world games to me. All the way from Far Cry series, Far Cry 1, 2, and 3 were phenomenal as well. I actually was a big fan of Far Cry series. I was not ever too much invested into further Far Cry series, but that's on another topic. It also doesn't help that Ubisoft's board has launched a investigation into the company's struggles, as pretty much every single latest title has flopped, which reflects directly into the state of the company itself. Star Wars Outlaws, to be more specific, was one of the largest flops so far. And I'm putting a big emphasis so far because Assassin's Creed Shadows does not look any better. In fact, I think it could be a lot worse than Outlaws. For all of the criticisms that Outlaws received, I think it's still going to be better state than the Assassin's Creed Shadows. And it doesn't bode well with the fact that with all of this happening, Ubisoft delayed the Assassin's Creed Shadows by 3 months, which in the development terms, as far as I'm aware, 3 months means nothing. There's nothing meaningful you can change in a span of 3 months. That's very interesting choice by Ubisoft, and obviously deliberate. In my opinion, I think they're trying to ride out the storm, waiting for things, hoping that in the span of 3 months, the things are going to be in a better spot. The release of Assassin's Creed, the new one, is going to be received just a tiny bit better, but I don't think so. Because as far as I'm aware, there's a reason why Ubisoft decided to crawl back to Gaben, put the game on Steam as well. That's also pretty massive red flag considering. And speaking of Assassin's Creed Shadows, just looking at the trailer itself is pretty crazy when you think about it. Usually when you look at trailers, the trailer is supposed to be best of the best moments. Like you're putting there moments that are supposed to sell you the game. It's supposed to be the most polished spots. In the trailer, you just put the cream of the crop. And looking at the trailer, you're seeing swords clipping, awkward design choices. And if it's not bad enough, apparently Ubisoft is basically using assets that they have no rights to. And in terms of Buddhism and Japanese culture, as already mentioned by this YouTuber called Dash Blue.
Right here, this is egregious.
これさ、we searched by the Google no pictures.
You do not have permission to use this Butsuzo statue in your game, Ubisoft. Nobody does.
Yeah.
Nobody is granted permission, and nobody gets granted permission for this. This is a religious symbol that they specifically say to not use in media.
いや、で、しかもさ、一番最初のところでさ、3D のところで作ってたもんね、この仏。
You look at like when they're interviewing and you see like their little staff pretending to work in the background, they actually have the 3D model of this statue on the screen. It's nuts!
I think we're seeing a shift. Slowly, it's gonna take a while, but I think the bigger studios such as Ubisoft, BioWare, and many others, I think we're seeing where they're gonna be no longer relevant. They're gonna be either go bankrupt, or most likely they're gonna be bought out by someone like Microsoft and absorbed into this conglomerate of other just basically dead companies with IPs basically put on a shelf and live out their days on a shelf. Basically, what I'm noticing is the only worthwhile studios, indie game studios that are producing games that are brave and interesting, and that like basically AAA studios are incapable of producing, which I think we're going to be seeing far more of. And as the shift continues, people are going to be more and more invested into indie game companies, and I think we're going to start seeing indie game developers shifting from indie game studios and expanding into AA or even AAA studios, which is worrying because I think it looks to me it's like a constant cycle. Company goes big enough, it becomes too big. Shareholders, board members, no one knows what the fuck's going on. There's a corporate culture. People are going in and out. The game's the product quality goes down the drain, and the company goes under. And then like out of the ashes of that, another company comes in. It's like at this point it looks like an endless cycle, which I guess you could look at it as natural way of things. Hopefully we're gonna start seeing a golden era of gaming again, where previous indie titles are gonna be the ones that we're gonna be looking forward to, like best games that are supposed to come out, like Larian Studios, Saber Interactive, and many others. Coffee Stain Studios, one of them being that produced Satisfactory, Valheim, and so on. Yeah, so that's pretty much how I see things so far. I don't think that Ubisoft is going to be able to recover. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Anyway, let me know in the comments. What do you think? What's going to happen to Ubisoft? Is it going to be absorbed by Microsoft, or is it actually going to pull a miracle on us and actually come out on top of this? Maybe Assassin's Creed Shadows is actually going to turn out like a amazing title and going to do No Man's Sky, which I really don't think that it's going to happen, but what do you think? Really curious. I liked the discussion we had on after the previous video. Let me know down in the comments. Leave a like or a dislike if you liked the video, or if you didn't, leave a dislike. Also consider subscribing if you like these types of videos. Also feel free to visit my Twitch channel. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Yeah, thank you for watching, and until next time.